sunshine and bad weather. It's a matter of getting deeper in any way you can. All this beauty you might have to.
Hi, I'm Jeannie Ballou, and welcome to Jeannie on the Beat, Talking with the Talent, Ann Arbor's newest talk variety show, where I'll bring you up close and personal with fabulous writers and performers. From Ann Arbor to Hollywood and back to Ann Arbor for the holidays, my guests tonight are brothers and filmmakers Chris and Mike Farah. Chris wrote and directed the new feature film, Answer This, and Mike Farah produced it. Filmed completely in Ann Arbor and on the University of Michigan campus, Answer This is a coming-of-age drama comedy about a U of M grad student struggling to decide whether to finish his PhD and fulfill his renowned father's shoes as a U of M English professor, leave the comfort of Ann Arbor to find his own path, or become Ann Arbor's top pub trivia champion. Here's the new trailer from Answer This.
What is the second largest city in the Soviet Union?
St. Petersburg.
It's Leningrad, and it's my turn.
Want another round of drinks?
I have a date with my endless dissertation.
What are you going to do after graduation?
What do you mean by after?
What have you been doing?
What do you hope to get from it?
What are you going to do?
I'm sick of all this giant, life-altering crap. No-holds-barred trivia at bars all over the city.
Do you have any idea what's at stake here?
Yes, sir. We are talking hollow glory, pointless honor.
FRC 1 difficulty. Sports.
He's the only athlete I've ever been friends with.
Is he?
You ready for this action? Do it. Do it.
Okay.
All right, welcome all.
What's our team name?
Ice Tigers.
What is the largest bird of prey? Baroque composer.
What professional golfer won the Persian Empire? Our final qualifier. Lice floggers.
Oh, sorry.
Ice Tigers.
I've never qualified for anything in my whole life.
We can do this.
Hello, excuse me.
Hi.
Hi. Is this the first time you've ever skipped class?
She sounds positively succulent.
I'm working on my own religion. The belief in life that only the little things matter.
Hey, Dad.
You've been seeing a great deal of a female student. Quite imprudent for a future professor.
It doesn't matter. I'm still gonna wake up tomorrow talking about intellectual crap that nobody cares about. Are you seeing someone else?
I am just trying to have fun.
You have one thing that makes you happy. You're just going to throw it away.
I-C-E. Ice. Naomi, what are you doing here?
Kicking your butt?
Okay, so we need to do this precisely because we do not need to do this.
Yes.
That's compelling.
I just want to say I'm deeply proud for how little you truly accomplished.
I'm going to annihilate you.
Save it. Save it for trivia.
Mike and Chris, welcome to Jeannie on the Beat. Glad to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
All right. So what inspired you guys to have pub trivia be your main character's obsession?
It was actually something that I got really into when I was living in New York a few years ago. My cousin was a big trivia guy. I had never heard of pub trivia before. Then he took me to a few competitions, and I was blown away by how seriously everybody there took such tiny little questions. And so I thought it would be a great kind of scene to explore for a movie.
All right. And so, Chris, what was your experience with directing prior to this film?
We had made some things for the internet, some shorts and that kind of stuff. Again, me directing and my brother producing. But this was my first film, and this was really our first big project together.
All right. So I know it takes a lot of passion to see a film through. It's a huge project to do what you guys have done. So I'm curious to know, why was it this story in particular of a young man's struggle to define himself? Why was that important enough to you to devote all this time and energy to this film?
I think we tend to gravitate towards stories about redemption, and coming of age stories, I think, can inherently be about that kind of redemption. It spoke to both of us because a big part of our lives obviously was growing up in Ann Arbor, but also deciding to move on from Ann Arbor and move away to kind of make our fortunes in other places. My brother moving to Hollywood back in, I don't know, 2001, something like that, and me moving there 5 years ago, but moving to New York in 2002. You know, it was a story that resonated with us on a very personal level.
So it's sort of near and dear to your own experiences.
Yeah.
Of having leaving Ann Arbor. It's such a cool city.
But we love coming back.
All right,
Yeah,
good. Well, I'm
absolutely.
really glad to have you back. So speaking of Ann Arbor, one of the things that's unique about this film is that it was filmed all in Ann Arbor and on the U of M campus. So can you tell us a little bit about how the partnering with a major university such as U of M impacted the production and marketing of this film?
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't have made the movie without the University of Michigan, and we're really fortunate that Lee Doyle, who kind of acts as the liaison between filmmakers and the University of Michigan, fell in love with the script, and it helped that, you know, we presented the script to them at a time when the film incentive program was just getting off the ground. They didn't have too much experience with shooting on the campus, and the small experience they had, you know, lots of just random horror movies and genre movies and things that really didn't speak to the Michigan experience were the opportunities that they had. So when Chris's script came along, it was a really authentic, smart, intimate story about someone in the city and on the campus. Lee really responded to it and really was able to kind of be the great catalyst to getting the rest of the university on board. And we really couldn't have made the movie without them. They were tremendous production partners. They've been great partners marketing the movie, and you know, we still have lots of work to do on it, getting it out to the world. And we're really fortunate that the University of Michigan and Lee and people on her team are going to be a big part of that.
And I think one of the stars of the movie is Professor Ralph Williams, who's a pretty well-known and kind of loved professor at Michigan, and he was signed on to be a part of the project from the very beginning. So I think that the university and Lee also enjoyed the fact that, you know, not only was it just taking place there, but it really was integrating a real part, a real, you know, piece of the university and making that part of the story as well.
Yeah, that's kind of unusual for a film. So it wasn't just, you weren't just using the set, you were actually using the people.
It was part of this. It was part of the
Okay.
story. The place was definitely a character in a sense.
So Ralph Williams, he plays one of the professors in the film. What inspired you to have him, of all people, star in your film?
I had actually had him as a professor. I went to Michigan from 94 to 98 as an undergrad. He had been my professor in a couple different classes because I was an English major. And then I came back for grad school in 2000, and I actually worked with him as a TA. So, you know, when I was thinking about this story and trying to come up with something that I felt really spoke to an Ann Arbor experience, I felt like including him and including his kind of public persona, because the character's public persona is very much based on the real Ralph Williams, was really as authentically Ann Arbor as you could get.
Okay, great. And I think it's really interesting that you're doing this big project as brothers. I know, and you may not think that that's a big deal, but people notice that and think it's interesting, you know, like the Coen brothers. How did it work for you and against you, being brothers?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely worked for us more than it hasn't. What's nice is
I don't think it's actually worked against us at all.
You don't like drive each other crazy, and
no,
you know?
not really.
We got that out of our systems when we were younger.
Oh,
yeah. But what's nice is that we both kind of we complement each other really well. So I'll kind of handle more of the producing and putting things together and kind of the big picture stuff, and he'll handle more of the creative and the sensibility that goes into it. But we so often agree on both sides of it, even though we're not, one person will kind of be point on one of those areas. Kind of both of our compasses, so to speak, line up, you know, both creatively and logistically to kind of be a good team. So yeah, you know, the Coen brothers, that would be nice to get to a small portion of their success. But you know, it's been great working with them, and we're definitely looking forward to working together more and more in the state of Michigan and keeping it going. Hopefully, this is just the beginning.
Well, you're the next generation.
Hopefully,
coming in
yeah.
here. That's cool. So now that you've completed your big first feature film, what would you say is your biggest takeaway as filmmakers? Because I'm sure the first time you do anything, there's a big learning curve. So what are some of your big?
I mean, I would think that it kind of goes back to one of your first questions, which is to make something like this work and make it happen, you really do need to be invested. The story needs to speak to you. That's not to say it needs to be autobiographical in any way whatsoever, but I think we both very much gravitate towards things that we feel closely to, as opposed to, you know, more commercial enterprises that we would just do to do them. You know, I think we both very much enjoyed the experience of making something, creating something that was very personal and close to us.
So your advice maybe to new filmmakers might be choose something that you really care about.
That would absolutely
that you
be
feel
my
passionate
advice.
about.
Yeah, because it's definitely going to take a long time. No one's going to hand you any of these opportunities. So the more invested you are to see it through, it's really critical that you're in it for the long haul, because a lot of work goes into it. I mean, you know, just from putting on the show, it has to be a passion project. You have to love doing it and hope others respond, and that's really what you can control.
Well, one cool thing is being brothers is that, you know, one of you is not going to just take off and quit on the other one, and if they do, you know where to find them.
That's a good point.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. So, Chris, you've been a writer for the New York Times, Salon.com, the Jerusalem Report, and have been an assistant editor at Foreign Affairs magazine. So how do you go from being a foreign correspondent in the Middle East to having your web show, Sexy Talk with Dirty J, be nominated for a Webby Award for Best Comedy Series? I mean, is this the same guy that we're talking about here? Two very different worlds?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very lucky that I've led a pretty wide and varied life. But I think a lot of the strengths of a storyteller can come from the different experiences that they've had. You know, even people who haven't served time as a journalist and that kind of thing. You know, just getting out there and getting different experiences and going different places and learning different things really helps broaden your horizons as a writer. So I'm glad all of those things can kind of feed into that.
So we may see something completely different around the corner, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we definitely don't want to be one-trick ponies, I would say.
Pigeonholed, yeah. So Mike, in addition to producing this beautiful film, Answer This, which by the way I've seen and I loved, I recommend, you're also president of production at Funny or Die.
Yep.
The premier website founded by Will Ferrell and Adam McKay that features about 20 original comedy videos a month, which is a lot, combined with up-and-coming comedians and user-generated content. So Time Magazine called Funny or Die the next stand-up comedy of the future. So tell us about this. How does this website work and what makes it unique?
Yeah, it's great. It's I'm very fortunate to work with Will and McKay and the whole creative and production staff. And we have a creative and production staff of about 20 people that makes those original videos that you spoke about. But also the other part of Funny or Die that I think people forget about is that anyone can upload a video to Funny or Die, and we have someone that watches all those videos. A few hundred get uploaded every day. So it's this great kind of combination of professional content made by young filmmakers in Hollywood with everyone from well-known movie stars to up-and-coming comedians to, you know, personalities, whatever, and then also kind of that next generation of user-generated content that, you know, we curate and hopefully people come and see a bunch of funny stuff and see some new people that, you know, will probably break soon and some movie stars that they love and everything in between. So yeah, it's a great combination of taking advantage of just kind of the changing media landscape with some great talent behind it and and we get a lot of views, and we get a lot of people to see these things, and you know, it's been a great run so far.
So you have very well-known celebrities and people that just any Joe walking down the street, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They're actually going to be doing a combined project with the University of Michigan Screen Arts and Culture program this upcoming semester.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm going to come in and talk to a bunch of the students about Funny or Die and how we make our videos and the pacing involved and what inspires us, and then how the business side of things helps make money off of those videos, and how our marketing and social media help people to see it, and how the engineers up in San Francisco kind of, you know, manage the website and the tech side of things for all these things to work together. So yeah, Jim Bernstein has been a huge supporter. He's the head of that department. He's been a huge supporter of the movie, and it's a great way to kind of educate young people who are looking to get into that space in a very kind of current and practical sense of how Funny or Die gets it done.
And they'll give it'll give students the chance to make their own videos within a week, and then pitch those to the people at Funny or Die.
Really?
And then if something passes muster, then it'll get posted up front with everything else.
That is really cool.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
So both of you guys are making the effort, and I really appreciate this, to stay connected to the community and educating and teaching people about this. So kind of taking it out of Hollywood and back to the streets.
Well, it's not one of those. It's not one of those sound bites. I mean, when Michael says that we couldn't have made the movie without the University of Michigan, we really couldn't have made it. So they did amazing things for us. I'm very used to them asking me for, you know, donations and contributions and that kind of thing. But the way that they went out of their way to help us was really fantastic.
And it's also just an important way to keep building the foundation so that the film industry can be a real and sustainable part of the state's economy.
Good point.
And, and to kind of teach, you know, young students wherever they are in Michigan about new media and how they can become a part of it and make it part of their careers, hopefully here in the state and elsewhere, and then continue to bring those skill sets back. That's something we absolutely want to support.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to see a clip from Funny or Die. Could you tell us a little about what we're going to see next?
Yeah, this is there's a really old and weird clip of Bing Crosby and David Bowie from the late 70s singing Little Drummer Boy, Peace on Earth. And it's something we had always wanted to remake with Will Ferrell. And we first tried to put it together a few years ago, and the scheduling didn't line up, and then last holiday season he was shooting The Other Guys, his movie in New York. So this year both he and John C. Reilly were available to kind of remake and pay homage or homage, either way.
Depends on how French you want to be.
Yeah, homage/homage to the original.
As long as he gets paid, that's what's important.
Yeah. So yeah, we put together this this weird shot-for-shot remake that we're going to share with your audience.
Okay, great. Let's roll it.
Hello. You the new butler?
Well, it's been a long time since I was the new anything.
What's happened to Hudson?
I guess it's changing.
Yeah, he does that a lot, doesn't he? Oh, I'm David Bowie. I live down the road.
Oh.
So Percival lets me use the piano when he's not around. He's not around, is he?
I can honestly say I haven't seen him, but come on in. Go ahead. Come on in.
Are you related to Sir Percival?
Well, distantly,
Oh, you're not the poor relation from America, right?
Ha ha! Gee, news sure travels fast. I'm Bing.
Pleased to meet you. You're the one that sings, right?
Well, right or wrong, I sing either way.
Well, I sing too.
Oh, good. What kind of singing?
Most of the contemporary stuff. Do you like modern music?
Oh, I think it's marvelous. Some of it really fine. But tell me, do you ever listen to any of the older fellas?
Oh yeah, sure. I like John Lennon. And the other one with the Harry Nilsson.
Oh, you go back that far, huh?
Yeah. I'm not as young as I look.
Well, none of us is these days.
In fact, I've got a 6-year-old son, and he really gets excited around the Christmas holiday thing.
Do you go in for any of the traditional things in the Bowie household Christmas time?
Oh yeah, most of them really. Presents, tree, decorations, agents sliding down the chimney.
What?
I was just seeing if you're paying attention.
Ha.
Actually, our family do most of the things that other families do. Sing the same songs.
Do you?
I even have a go at White Christmas.
You do, huh?
And this one. This is my son's favorite. Do you know this one?
Oh, I do indeed. That's a lovely thing.
Come, they told me, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum, our newborn king to see, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum. Our finest gifts we bring, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum, rum-pum-pum-pum, rum-pum-pum-pum. Peace on earth, can it be? Years from now, perhaps we'll see the day of glory, see the day when men of goodwill live in peace again.
And he smiled at me, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum.
Can it be? Can it
Oh, that's a pretty little thing, isn't it?
Very nice.
All right, Bobby. You have a Merry Christmas.
It's Bowie. It's David Bowie.
And it's Bing Crosby, pal.
So Mike, working for Funny or Die has allowed you to work with studios like Paramount and HBO and with stars like Jack Black and Natalie Portman and Zac Efron. How did you end up in this position?
Well, it actually started, I'd been running a production company at Paramount, and that job ended with the writer's strike at the end of 2007. And that's when Chris and I started doing a lot of online content together, some of the smaller projects that we did before Answer This. And that's what ultimately got my job at Funny or Die. They saw some of the things that we were doing and working on and producing, and they featured a lot of them on the homepage, and that's how I got a relationship going with the company. And a few months after I met with them, they brought me on to be their first kind of in-house producer. So I was fortunate. I was able to get a lot of things going with them, and then about 6 months ago this year, that's when they named me president of production of the entire site, overseeing the website and our TV projects and our film projects. So it's been a great run, and they're all great people to work with, and yeah, hopefully you can keep it going. Between the movie and the website, it was a really great year, and you know,
very busy, I'm sure.
Yeah, we have a lot of momentum, so we want to kind of keep it going.
Were you like on the set doing stuff and then on the phone back at Funny or Die and trying to do both at the same time, or did you actually get to?
Yes, that's exactly what I was doing.
Two phones going.
Well,
at the same time.
when I was in Michigan for the movie, I was able to take 6 weeks off just to focus on that. But you know, there were still some Funny or Die things to do, but it's you know, all of these are just such great opportunities. I want to make the most of them, and so yeah, we work really hard, but we love doing it, so it doesn't feel like work. It just feels like you know, great opportunities that you want to see through.
That's wonderful. And I want to congratulate you. You were recently named Hollywood Reporter's list of the top 35 entertainment executives under the age of 35. That's quite an honor.
Yeah, thanks so much.
That's
it was very flattering and made my parents proud. I mean, really, what I just love doing the work, and same with Chris. You know, we just you know, anything that comes from that is just kind of icing on the cake. But to even be out there and doing this full time as our jobs is a tremendous gift. So we want to make the most of it, and anything that comes from it is just, that's awesome. But it's really just about putting in the time and work and seeing what comes of it.
Ralph Macchio came to the after party.
Really?
Yeah,
Very
Ralph's
nice guy.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart. I don't say that about many men, but he is absolutely a sweet man.
All right. Well, tell us what's next for you guys, the next generation Coen brothers. Are you going to make another film together, work on your own projects for a while? Is this a one-time gig with Answer This, or, you know?
I don't know. This is pretty much all I have going for me, so I hope it's not a one-time gig. He's busy at Funny or Die always. I mean, that job never ends. But as that's happening, I'm working on some other scripts that we'd certainly love to bring back to Ann Arbor sooner or later.
And this is the big year for the movie too, releasing it. You know, with premiere festivals. Premiering at festivals and getting it into theaters and getting it out on DVD. So the sneak preview that you came to is just the beginning, and it was a great night, and it played exceptionally well, and people really responded to it. So we want to keep that going and make sure thousands and thousands of more people can see it.
Well, thanks you guys so much for coming in.
These
I
are
really
great coffee
appreciate
cups, by the way. Love these cups. Where did you get them from?
Thanks, are Jennifer Scholl's Originals.
There you go.
Thank you guys, and thank you Ann Arbor for joining us. Remember to tune in the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of each month at 10:30 p.m. or look for rebroadcasts of Jeannie on the Beat at various times throughout the week. Ciao, Ann Arbor.
You can